So Kev, after such a great start last week, how do you go about backing that up in the next home game?
Winning, hopefully. No, listen, I was pleased to get off to a good start. I think any time you go away from home in National League, it gives you different challenges, and Gateshead has always been a tough place for us to go. So, really pleased that we've managed to pick up 3 points. And now we're at home to start our league campaign in front of our own fans, and looking forward to it. And we want to, as you say, back up a good performance again.
Austin and Boyce started the match and both impressed in their own ways. What have you made of the way that all of the new signings have come into the club and bought into the culture and team style when they're out on the pitch?
No, really well. I think you don't come into this team or the club without having a work ethic. I think first and foremost, and that's driven by the staff, the players that are already here and have been here and worked with us for a long time. And Sam certainly does that. Boise did. Goody's been with us, of course. Slavy. So we're really pleased in terms of the ones who come in. And sometimes it hasn't been a huge overhaul in the summer, but we've had a good base to work from, which is pleasing. But listen, it's early days for everyone.
When looking ahead to Saturday's match, Tamworth finished last season really strongly. They've proved that they can hold their own against anyone in the division. What are you expecting from them in terms of a challenge?
Yeah, listen, I think different from Saturday. We had to tactically be slightly different in terms of how we went about our press and what that looked like. Tamworth will produce another difficult challenge in terms of, we'll have to think again about how we go about that, where we press, what it looks like when we haven't got the ball. But as you said, they more than settled into the National League and done unbelievable last year. And whenever we play them, it's a tough game. It's a real test. A real test. Any time we've gone to Tamworth or we played them at home, I know we had a positive result last time. But it's different challenges that we've got to overcome, and we're looking forward to doing it in front of our own fans, of course. And I'm sure we'll have quite a few in the Roots Hall. But we need them as well, because it's not always going to be like last week. We may have to be patient at times, and against tough opponents, and not everything's going to go as smoothly as last week. So we're ready for that, and we need the fans to keep pushing the players on.
You mentioned the fans, more than 5,000 season ticket holders ahead of this new season. How much can they play a part in terms of the energy and momentum that they'll bring the team on the pitch?
Yeah, hugely, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think it does it for opponents. When they come, and we spoke to Dallo this week about it when he played for Solihull. He spoke about how it was incessant. It's hard to play against, and we need it to be like that. And listen, I think for us to get over 5,000 season tickets is unbelievable. I think just before I come, I think the crowd was around just over 3,000. So to get it as 5,000 season tickets is unbelievable. So we're grateful to the fans for that, and all the work going on at the club means that that people want to be a part of it. So that's pleasing.
Perfect. Thanks, Kev.
Kevin, a great start to the season. Away at Gateshead, 3-0 win at the weekend. You created so many chances in the match. You probably could have won 6 or 7-0. I know you'll be disappointed that didn't put them all away, but just going forwards, that's a really promising sign. First game, isn't it? Yeah,
listen, to win the game, keep a clean sheet, and get 3 goals away from home's, you snap your hand off if people offered you that. So delighted with that, and created a number of chances. Like I say, not every game's going to be like that, but tactically I thought we were spot on last week, and as I say, different challenges this week.
And just a word on Colin as well, because he was back in the starting team. He's been on the sidelines for a little while now. How pleased were you for him?
Yeah, really well. Didn't have loads to do, and listen, I said it was a toss of a coin between him and Hazy, and it really was. And we went with Colin, and we've managed to keep a clean sheet, which is a tribute to everyone on the team, not just defenders or keepers. I think because we ask everyone to play a part both sides of the game, and yeah, nice for Colin to be out there again, but he's got Hazy breathing down his neck as well, and I think we've got 2 very good keepers.
Well, it's a nice problem to have, isn't it? 2 really top goalkeepers. How much will that help for the rest of the season as well?
No, it should do. There's competition for places like we have, throughout the squad. We've had a relatively clean bill of health, and it adds to competition, and those that play know there's people breathing down their neck for the shirt, and likewise you've got to perform, and whoever comes in has to be ready, and that's the competition places we haven't had for too long.
You had 3 forward players off the mark on the opening weekend, and I guess that just takes a little bit of pressure off if there was any. Have you seen the impact that those goals have had on them in training this week?
I think forwards always live off confidence, and listen, we knew they're good finishers, that last week's gone, so we just look forward now, and they've got to keep reproducing that.
And it must be nice for you, considering where the club has been in the last couple of years, especially having the likes of Leon Parallon, Tom Hopper and Dallas off the bench. That's a great position to be in.
Yeah, listen, it's a position we've always wanted to get to, and I think we were for the back end of last year as well. So important knows that, find themselves not in the starting 11, push the other ones. That's probably the key to real good teams, and they don't come off it, and the ones starting know that the pressure's on them to perform, and that's football in the way it should be, and we haven't had that for long enough.
And you've got 5 games coming up in the space of 16 days, starting with a tough visit. First game at home is Tamworth. Just thinking about the schedule though, do you think that's maybe a bit too much this early in the season?
Yeah, listen, I think we've seen it happen regularly, and it's the same for everyone, so listen, we've got to get on with it. The wisdom of some of the games takes a little working out, but it is what it is. We've got to get on with it, and we've got a squad now, and I'm sure everyone will be needed within that period.
And just a word finally on McCauley Bond, who left the club this week. What would you say about him and what he's done for the club? Yeah,
listen, brilliant Maher. I think when he came, he was a bit behind in pre-season, but you see when he got up to speed, the impact he had. He was brilliant around the place, and we're so grateful to him for everything he'd done for the football club. And listen, he'll be brilliant wherever he goes, and we're thankful to him.
Thanks, Kevin.
How hard is it? It must be first for you dealing with players that aren't making squads and things like that. How much of a challenge is that for you, and will be moving forward?
I think every manager will tell you it's the worst thing, leaving people out and not picking players, and even the subs bench. Can be it's a nightmare trying to choose sometimes. But you try and do it, and I do it as honest as I can. There's times I'll tell people, but you can't have a conversation every time with every player. They're not playing or whatever, but as straight as we can, we pick the best team to win football matches for the football club. My duty is to the football club to get a team out there to win matches, and luckily we've got players here that are honest, hard working, and listen, whether they're happy and not playing, I hope they're not, but do it the right way. When you're not in the squad, you train properly, and I've seen that this week from everyone.
And could get more difficult. Is Cab now ready to be involved? Is he trained this week?
Yeah, Cab's had a great week of training. He's someone you can see when he trains, the standards go up and drives everyone around him. So, a brilliant problem to have with him back.
Yeah, and just going back to Saturday briefly, there's a bit of noise about Nathan Ralph's challenge just before the break, got a yellow card. Did it look worse than it was, do you think?
Yeah.
Or what was your sort of view on it?
Yeah, no, I think, listen, Ralphie's got an unbelievable leap first of all. And going back to when I played, I thought it was a brilliant header. And I think, sorry for the lad if he's got injured, because there was certainly no intention from Ralphie at all. His eyes were firmly fixed on the ball. Got up early. The lad didn't get off the floor. It could have been a bit nasty for Ralphie if his legs were taken underneath him and he could have landed awkwardly, but certainly no intention or malice from Ralphie.
Yeah, can I ask you about Jack Stone, if that's all right? Is there any update on him at the moment and where he is?
Yeah, I think the club above me, we're dealing with that. And someone that identified, I spoke to Dale and Heath at the club, and something we want to do and make sure he progresses as one of our players.